The hidden forces that shape our decision. Why does free make us so happy? What makes free so attractive? Free can be used to shape our decisions. We tend to make some choices, especially the free choices, because we are afraid of loss. Free can have a great deal of power, and it makes a lot of sense. I believe that free has a power to shape society because it has already been doing so for a long while. Free is a powerful tool if correctly used. This for free, that for free, that for free. In actual sense, we feel like, oh, it's free, but in essence, for them, it's a win. After all, free can lead us into trouble, like things that we would never consider purchasing become incredibly appealing as soon as they are free. That's a read. That's an excerpt from the book that from one of the reads that I'm currently doing, Predictably Irrational by I think Dan Ariely, and it's just talking about I think what we call market economics, why we the hidden forces that shape our decisions. And this particular is actually just a chapter within the book, and it caught my attention and it got me thinking a lot. And I wanted to talk about it today. And it's chapter 3 from the book. So, what makes free so attractive? Why is it that sometimes you don't need the t-shirt that they were offering and when you went to buy some items, or you didn't actually want to buy an item, right? And I have one example actually. There's a day I went to the groceries, to the supermarket, right? And I particularly wanted to buy just a single yogurt, and I was aiming for like a 1.5 liter yogurt bottle of yogurt. But then and that I think that is usually priced around 12, I think, or 9.9. I don't recall, renminbi, Chinese yuan. And that particular day I went, and as I opened the fridge with the milk and yogurt, the section, I ended up taking another yogurt that was having a bottle of 1 point, I think that was almost 900. I think it was 900 milliliters. And it had an accompanying, like a small thingy, like a yogurt also. It's a small, and it was like a pack. So it's like buy one, get one free. But then the price was actually, I think, 15.9 renminbi. Around that, I think, 15.9. But initially I went for with a budget for a yogurt of 9.9, around, like around approximately 9.9 to 12. But I ended up buying something for 15, right? And I in my point of view, and even the book states that I think I won, but actually, did I need the extra yogurt? Because until now, I still have the other bottle still in my fridge. But did I need it for that moment? Was it necessary for me to buy? And that is just something that so much happens to all of us. You go to a market, a store, and you went to buy, maybe, let's say, socks, a pair of socks. And I like to use this example because it's the one which is more easy, right? And you go to the shop and you want to buy a pair of socks, but a specific type of socks, maybe especially like athletic type of sock, where it is, do they call it, it has some compressive functions or something like that to help your feet, right? But you reach the store and you find that they have another type of sock that you didn't want in the first place, but they were selling two pairs, right? Now remember, your original buying price was around, let's say, 9.9, right? And let's talk about renminbi. My values here they're going to be in renminbi, 9.9, and you ended up buying the other one, but it's like it's written, let's say, maybe 12, right? Now, with the immediate effect, you think you won, but actually, did you need that type of socks actually? The pair of socks that you just bought. And the second one that came along with it, did you actually want it? and that's just one of the tiniest things that can happen, right? So I think I understood from this chapter is that sometimes free can be used to shape our decisions, and it's not just in the economic, financial sense, but even in social impact, right? Free can be used to like shape decisions. Like if you want people to live better health, if you or like to do regular checkups, if you make the regular checkups free, then you'll get more people to do regular checkups, right? So it can be used to shape our behavior, right? If you say, let's take another example of social benefit if you made, like, let's say maybe some type of medicine for free, and you people would definitely like, you'll drive demand to that. And I think this is something that is important to think about, because most transactions have an upside and downside. But when something is free, we totally tend to forget the downside, or we because the free sense gives us such an emotional charge that we perceive what is being offered as immensely more valuable than it really is, because we think and the reason might be because humans are intrinsically afraid of loss. And this is where I want to actually more mostly talk about also. Like, we tend to make some choices, especially the free choices, because we are afraid of loss, afraid of money, afraid of losing money and all that, because we are thinking, let's take an example, a bar of chocolate, and this is an example even used in the book. A bar of chocolate can cost, let's say, similar amount, right? Similar amount. But then when we designate, oh, no, let's say a premium, a good taste, a chocolate with a good flavor, if it is priced at it is usually priced at a higher price, right? And you have just a regular chocolate, should we say a regular chocolate? Now, your aim, when this thing is priced at 5 renminbi and this one is at 12 renminbi, when it's like this, like they're all in monetary value, you you definitely program your mind like, if I want this of 12 renminbi, then I'll definitely buy this of 12 yuan, because I want to, I'm invest it's like I'm investing and I want to feel that taste, or like something like that. Now, if one of them is placed at a free cost, you totally forget that you actually didn't want this chocolate. You get it? You didn't want this chocolate, but you actually wanted this. But now, because just this one has been written free, your mind tells you that this is the best investment. Although you never wanted this, you actually wanted this of 12 yuan. And this so much so happens, even it affects our performance, or like it affects our behavior in how we do tasks. Like someone who, when someone knows that they are going to gain a certain amount of money from a task, right? They will definitely do it with in according to the value that they are going to gain, right? But if you say like it's for free, they do it for free, then they are going to probably do it reluctantly, right? And so you can see that I feel like free has a certain type of effect, like even in our normal purchasing behavior. And I think it's important to really understand this thing. Like, when we get something for free, it's certainly that we draw that we usually just we win. We won in this area. We are winning. We are winning. Whether it's products or money, we can't just resist the gravitational pull of free. Ooh. So then now here's a quiz, right? And I'm reading it directly from the book, and I want you to also think about it. Suppose I offered you a choice between a free $10 Amazon gift certificate. I repeat again. Suppose I offered you a choice between a free $10 Amazon gift certificate and a $20 gift certificate for $7. Think quickly, which one would you pick? Now, I'm repeating the statement. Suppose I offered you a choice between a free $10 Amazon gift certificate and a $20 and the 20 gift certificate for $7. Think quickly. Which one would you pick? To be honest, your mind goes to the $10, right? The $10 free Amazon gift, right? Or no? Now, if your mind just jumped into the $10 free thing, it's a common thing to all of us. Like, we are so much inclined when the word free, when the thing free is just used. Now, let's break down this problem, and it's interesting because let's use it as a practical thing approach to understand the impact of free, the cost of free. Now, it's a free $10 Amazon gift. Now, this value is 10. Its value is 10 in this essence. Or you were supposed to be given a $20 Amazon gift certificate for $7. You get it? So you spent in this second scenario. In this second scenario, you feel like you got a win, but actually it's just that you got a $10 certificate, gift certificate. You, because it was free, you jumped on this. But the other one is a $20 gift for $7. So your income or your profit or your upside is $13. Is $13. But the first thing that came to your mind was pick the free, right? Pick the free, because that's how we are programmed. Like, we are afraid of losses, and we think like we are losing the $7 in this essence, the $7 when we are getting the 20 gift certificate, right? We are losing, and so we do not want to experience loss, and so what we do is our mind triggers us to jump after free. And I think this is an interesting thing I wanted to talk about on the Self Seed, because I believe this is something that we can exploit into making decisions for our businesses, how we can leverage this power of free in our businesses to drive consumer demand, or to drive sales and revenue and all that. But we can also use it in our lives, in a social, let's call it in a social setting, like when we want to do some things with our family members, or with the people that we are leading in places. If we are able to use the essence of free, then we will be able to guide these people into adopting these things, right? So I need to read something here. Moment. Now, the thing is, why do I say that we can adopt it? Is because, and I actually wrote this summary, and probably I will show you on the thing. Yeah, I wrote that. Wait. But anyways, you can see, yeah. So I wanted to say that, and this is a thing that I learned from this. Free can have a great deal of power, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Free can have a great deal of power, and it does make a lot of sense. In business, it can have a great deal of power in customer acquisition, more product sales, new service adoption. In social policy, it can have a great deal of outcome in health, adoption of new technologies, adherence or attention to critical processes. Now, if we are to break down all of these aspects, I will try and break down one by one according to how I understood from this. If you're bringing something novel into the market, and you want it to be adopted as quickly as possible, right? You want a quick adoption. I think using the aspect of free can easily lure people into trying. Even sometimes we realize that these people along the way, they discover that they actually never needed this. But then that's another thing. That's another thing that we can talk, which is how can you retain the customer once you win them. But the aspect itself of customer acquisition, bringing the customer in, free can be one of the essential, like authentic, essential, powerful tool that we can use. Because imagine I'm building an app, and this app is kind of very novel in my environment, in the developing world, in let's say in Tanzania, right? And I'm trying to build this app because I have seen that there's potential in this area, especially let's say financial technology application. Now, for me to be able to drive people into adopting my app, I could use one of the easiest, which is they even have a model called for that, a freemium, offering a freemium for meaning use the free aspect to lure in customers to perform the customer acquisition process. But then you later apply other things, other tactics to be able to retain this customer, right? For them to never leave the application. Now, remember that we lured them into adopting our technology, into adopting our new proposition, into adopting our business model in the first place, right? So free can be a very powerful tool in doing that. And also in driving sales. When you want to sell something more, it means you can always couple it in that aspect of with something called, like, it's termed as free, but in actual essence it's like people still pay for it. And I'm not saying it, I'm not trying to teach anything, because this is just me thinking out loud. Sometimes it's like a customer buys a pant. Let's talk about pant because let's say from Aussie Outdoors, usually the division of Aussie Cross Border Services, we sell apparels, right, and equipments and all that. Now, sometimes when you want the customer to feel valued, to have a sense of win, right, and for them to buy more, it's like you tell them, if you buy this, then you get with this. It's like for free. But in actual sense, usually the price of this one thing is this. Now, coupled with this, it feels like it's a free deal, but actually maybe the seller has increased a little bit the price of this, and you're actually paying the cost of this product B, but without knowing. And probably it doesn't cost a lot. Usually they attach something that is not so expensive to make sense of the free. Or in the aspect of new service adoption, it's the same. When you have something new that has never been done or your customers have never experienced it, what you can do is say, what if I offer this for free, like a trial session? That's how they term it. Also, sometimes I feel like it, especially in services where you have this trial session, they give you like 7 days, 3 days. I don't know, some of them, if they have 24 hours, but 7 days, 90 days, 21 days, those kind of stuff. Now you get to experience some powerful aspects of the service or of the platform before you pay for it. But they have already shown you that, oh, for free, you can download our application for free and you can use this, you can use that, you can use this. But in actual sense, did you need the application in the first place, or because it was termed as free, then you easily downloaded it? But then this is a win for business people. This is a win for when I move to social policy, right? In health, as I gave an example, if you want people to do regular checkups, for instance, of some of the hidden or chronic diseases that people don't like to do checkups, what if we placed those checkups as free? Like I had this experience in my hometown before. My church used to prepare a free test. I don't know if it's my church, but the doctors usually would come after a season, after some time, and they do free eye checkups, right, for the elderly, for the people, for the members of that community. And you could see that more people showed up in the free checkups compared to telling someone, you need to see an eye doctor. You need to go and pay and see an eye doctor. Duh. Why would I do that? And my eyes are not even having a problem. But when people hear the word free, they're like, they flood into the area that provides the free. And also adoption of new technologies, as I said. If a government wants to, as I was lately reading that let's say governments across Africa and even in Tanzania itself, the Bank of Tanzania is trying to adopt new financial regulations or financial ways. Should we say financial? Yeah, it's actually regulations. Yeah, of adopting new technology. Now, what you can do is top up those kind of things with free. And this is not just for the banks, but I'll talk about the example of banks. They could offer some things, or they usually try to say this for free, that for free, that for free. in actual sense, we feel like, oh, it's free, but in essence, for them, it's a win. So I believe that's a way that new technologies can be introduced if it's either smart services or whatever. New kind of technologies can be easily adopted by free. In China, we have, like, right now, Alipay is trying as much as possible to facilitate the tap and pay, and they call it in Chinese 碰一下支付, meaning just tap and pay, right? Where you can just tap with your NFC card or phone, and you just tap and go. Now, how they do that is, like, they even put, oh, in China now, instead of something even being called free, you are told you'll get a red packet if you do that. Now, you'd see that someone would definitely want to tap so that they can get the red packet. But in actual sense, they will be pushed into downloading maybe the Alipay app, or they will be pushed to do some sort of thing that will hook them into the platform or into the service and all that. And so this is one of the ways that new technologies can be introduced into a certain area or into a certain community, and also the adherence or attention to critical procedures. People, when you put something is free, but for you to get that free thing, read this. I would say, for instance, mostly sometimes when we are signing up for some things, we have that button of I read and accept the terms and condition. What if this is not a good example, but all I mean is, what if some things that people felt like is a chore to do, and they could definitely wouldn't want to waste money on. What if we made them free for people to be able to adopt them easily, or to pay attention to them more? I think that would be a good way. And so this is my thought today on the constructive journal. And I believe that free has a power to shape society, because it has already been doing so for a long while. And right now, with the models, they have this freemium model of whereby you sign up for free and all that, but still you have to watch advertisements. Or I don't know how in depth how the freemium model works, because I have not worked on it yet. But free has a sense of, it has a certain power that it can have on consumer behavior, on driving revenue, on pushing policy, on driving innovation and adoption. And so I think my thought for today comes to an end here, whereby I say that free is a powerful tool if correctly used. But then, from a consumer point of view, it's important to pay attention to the cost of free, actually, to the cost of free. For the seller, for the provider, for the service provider, for the product developer or creator or manufacturer, it's a very powerful thing. Now, for the consumer, as me and you, the self-seeders, I think it's important to sometimes pay attention to what cost comes behind the word free. And this is my thought for today, that let's pay attention to the word free. Before you pick that extra coupon, you fight for, you queue in a museum, whereby you could have gone on another day, pay maybe $5 to just stare at the paintings. I know some people find that pleasure in staring at paintings. I find pleasure in taking pictures of the paintings and pictures of every other thing. But yeah, if you love art and something like that, then you'd find pleasure in doing it in the time where there's no a long queue, right? Compared to when you hear the museum is having a free entrance day, and you want to go on this specific day, but you forget the aspect that it's free, right? But there will be a long queue, and even when you get in, it will be overcrowded. We forget all of these other things that come with the word free, like these drawbacks, downsides of the word free. We forget about the cost. We didn't buy that pair of socks that we needed for our next athletic movement powered by OC. We didn't buy that, and we instead ran to something written free, which will not help us maybe with our in our need at a certain point, right? Or we took that we went to a place and they were selling maybe something, and they attached it with coffee beans, right? Now think for a moment before you take that coffee beans, that free coffee beans. You don't have a machine, a coffee maker machine to brew the coffee, to brew the coffee. And so where will you take the coffee beans? So next time before you make any choice about when you hear the word free, I think it's important that you realize the cost hidden behind the word free. And so that's my termination of thought today on the Constructive Journal, Season 4 of the Self Seed Podcast. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting, but if you enjoy these stories and you'd want me to share more of my frequent learnings and all that, probably read directly from my readings, or share from my own entrepreneurship experiences, on my own apprenticeship, internships. I would love to hear your thoughts always. And if I am able to talk on the topic, I will definitely break it down to the simplest of terms. And if it's not simple, be sure to let me know also. And if you need anyone for me to feature anyone on this podcast, be sure to let me know in the comments or on my Instagram at Emmanuel E. Saitoti. And this is the Self Seed Podcast. Until next Tuesday, keep listening, keep growing, and avoid the word free before you think. See ya in the next one.